Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Neca Ultimate Lilo and Stitch Elvis Singer Stitch figure. So before we take a look at Stitch, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with his really tiny chair. Not a whole lot of sculpt detail to it, but it looks really good. It's cast in a shimmery silver color. Up next, he comes with a set of open hands. Up next, he comes with his guitar playing hands. Up next, he comes with his guitar, and this looks really nice. It's got some really awesome sculpt and paint detail to it. The strings are actually sculpted and painted on there. The whole guitar itself has some really nice texturing to it. And then the belt has yellow studs that are painted on really nicely. You can't adjust the strap, but it's mainly meant to go in this position, so you can really only do that with it. But it looks good overall. I just wish that his left hand, could have held the neck just a little bit better. You can see it's not actually down in his hand because the grip is too tight on it. You might be able to heat it up and get it around that there, but yeah, he can't quite hold it properly, and that does drive me a little bit crazy. Up next, you get his standard head sculpt, and I think this looks really good. Neca did a really good job at sculpting this. You get some little texturing there to his nose. You get the paint on the inside of his ears there, and you get his Elvis hairpiece. Now, the hair on this is sculpted very, very well. That looks really good. The only problem is it falls off constantly, because the only thing that actually keeps it on is his little mohawk right there, and it doesn't really do a good job of that. It just sets on top of his head, which I get that's accurate to how wigs actually are, but it just doesn't stay on there. On the back of the packaging, it actually shows that there should be a peg on his head, or that's what it looks like to me. So maybe they had originally planned for the hair to peg in. So yeah, while it looks really cool, the hair doesn't stay on any of the head sculpts, so that's a bit irritating. Up next, you get interchangeable eyepieces. So all of the eyes are interchangeable on all of the head sculpts. So you just have to kind of use the edge of your fingernail to pry his eyes up. It can be a little bit tricky to get it loosened, and I'm afraid I'm going to scuff it up with my fingernail. Okay, that one just shot off there. And this one's pretty tight as well. I'm definitely scared that I'm going to scuff the plastic up trying to get this off. I can see it starting to loosen there. So you slide his eyes off like that, and that is pretty horrifying. And then he has these squinting eyes that you can put on here. And they actually pop in really easily. So I think that's really cool how you can do that. It's just pretty tough to get them out. Up next, you get this singing head sculpt, and this is probably my favorite head sculpt out of the whole pack. It just looks really good, and the hair actually stays decently well on this one. The only complaint I have is on the left, well, one of two complaints I should say, is on the left eye, there's red paint over top of it. So that's really strange. I can't get it off there with my fingernail. I did use a little bit of alcohol, and that didn't take it off either. So yeah, that's really weird because there shouldn't be anything red on this figure. The only red that I can see is inside his mouth, and that's more of a pinkish color. This is actually straight up red. So that's really weird. And my second complaint is a lot of his teeth, or the top row of teeth I should say, didn't get painted on quite all the way. You can see where a lot of the white for the teeth didn't get painted on, especially over here. So while this is my favorite head sculpt, it does have the most quality control issues out of the three heads. And finally, you get this grinning head sculpt, and it looks pretty good as well. You also get a different hair piece with the windswept hair on that. And that looks really good. This one didn't come with ears though, so you will have to take ears off of a different head and pop it on here. Now, getting these ears off is kind of tricky. So you have to pop them off. I think this one was the head sculpt where the ears were on upside down. Yeah, I think that's right. So you'll have to pop the ears off of one and put on the other. Would have been cool if they would have included, there, that's falling off again, ears for all of the head sculpts. So let's line that up and peg that in there. I'm afraid I'll make the ears really loose. So honestly, I'll probably just pick the one head sculpt and leave it on there. That way I'm not going to be popping the head or the ears off and on. So I finally got the left ear on there. I think that looks really good. I think the head sculpt itself looks really good as well, but it has a bunch of black paint over top of it. It's hard to see, but there's a little bit over here, and there's just this black smudge right here by his left eye. There's also some paint that missed its mark right there on the inside part of his eye there. So while all of these head sculpts do look good, each of them do have quality control issues. That and none of the hair seems to stay on any of the head sculpts, except for the squinting eyes one. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure. So taking a look at the rest of the figure, there's not a whole lot of sculpt or paint details on it, but it still looks really good. This outfit is supposed to look like Elvis' '68 comeback special outfit, and I think Neca did a really good job of replicating that for Stitch. All the sculpted wrinkles and everything looks good. You get dots of silver for the buttons right there. I definitely wish he would have had a waist swivel. I feel like right here would have been a nice cut for a waist swivel, but you don't get any sort of cut right there for articulation. The chest right here where there's a little bit of fur sculpted on, the paint was scuffed up on it, because I believe the whole torso here is cast in black and the light blue's painted over top of it, and this has been scuffed. And since I've started switching the heads out, I feel like the neck peg has gotten loose. It's really tough switching these head sculpts out. It's a really tight fit, so I will probably shave that joint down. That way popping the heads on and off will be a lot easier, and I won't be scared that I'm going to break it or make it too loose. I'll probably do the same thing with the ears too. While it's really cool that you can switch the ears out for different looks, it will get loose over time, especially if you switch them out frequently. Another complaint I have is no matter what I do when I bend this, the right arm just pops right off. So it's really tough to get the arm to move. So if I'm trying to bend it in, I will have to pop it off there, bend it in, and then reattach it. So that's really irritating. I really do like this figure, but it has a bunch of quality control issues. I feel like the idea was really good on paper, but the execution of it is a bit flawed. I did forget to mention all of his nails are painted on. You get some really good sculpt detail for the inside of his hand right there for the fur, and then on the bottoms of his feet with that fur too. Though I do wish he would have had peg holes. He's kind of a top-heavy figure with his big head, so he either falls forward or backwards. So it would have been cool if they would have included a peg hole. That way you could use either an existing stand or one of their stands to get him standing up. But yeah, he wants to fall over, and then his arm will fall off. So now, let's go over his articulation. So he has a double ball peg joint right here in the neck that can look up all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side a little too much, and all the way around. He has ball jointed ears that can move up all the way, down all the way, and spin all the way around very nicely. He has shoulders that can move out that far. On the left side, the elbow bends in perfectly. It's just fine. On this right side, it'll pop right off, no matter what you do. Sometimes even if you just twist it the wrong way, it'll just pop right out. So that is really irritating. That's going to make posing him around pretty tough. He has swivel wrists that can move all the way around and up and down pretty nicely. He has ball jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward a little bit and back a little bit, and he has ball jointed ankles, but these feel pretty stiff. They do move up and down very slightly and side to side very slightly. And oh, the head popped off. I thought that joint felt really loose, so I guess the head might even pop off if you move it too much. So now let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to Ernie. Here he is next to Megan. Here he is next to the McFarlane Disney Mirror vs. Scrooge figure, and I have to say he scales pretty well with him. Here he is next to the McFarlane Goofy. And finally here he is next to the McFarlane Baloo figure. So overall, now that I have this in hand, unfortunately I'm pretty disappointed by it. I think this was a very, very cool idea, but the execution of it is really flawed. I don't know if the issues are widespread on all of the figures, but mine has some really bad quality control issues, from the bad places in paint to weird splotches like that red place on his eye, to the pieces falling off. I mean, the right arm constantly falling off no matter what you do, and none of the hair pieces actually fitting the way they should is very irritating. I do want to do some photography of this, but I know it's going to be a pain, with all of the pieces constantly falling off. I'm just really let down by this figure, which sucks because I was really looking forward to it. I was really excited for the Lilo and Stitch figures from Neca, but I have to say this is a pretty poor start to the line so far. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.